explore the wisdom of the revered Narada Bhakti Sutras, a cornerstone of Hindu devotion, with His Holiness Swami Jyotirmayananda. Experience 45 enlightening lessons on the essence of Bhakti Yoga. Discover the path to pure love for God and transcend the material world. Embrace the teachings that have guided devotees for centuries. Attain spiritual perfection through devotion. Prepare to understand the depths of divine love. Find your path to spiritual enlightenment. Trust in the sutras. Follow these instructions. Be blessed with devotion. And now, His Holiness Swami Jyotirmayananda.
Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. Narada Bhakti Sutras, and presently we are dealing with Bhakta ekantino mukhyah, a devotee who has become absolutely one-pointed. That one point is God. That's the goal of practicing bhakti devotion. As long as you have not attained that level, you are living in a world of relativity, led by karma. You are always looking for two things: to love and to be loved. And experiment after experiment, you go on failing. In each embodiment, you have that experiment. Opportunity for love comes in every embodiment. It comes in so many ways. Love of husband, wife, love of mother, child, love of brothers, love of brother and sister. So many. Love of an office person who is with the boss. Love has different aspects. Love of the country, love of tradition. So when we speak of love, we're not just talking about human beings, but presently focusing the mind on human relations. So we must realize that you had so many relations. Can't count them. You can't even count your own embodiments, how many you had. And each embodiment, you had that experiment. To love and to be loved. Both seem to elude your grasp. But there is the ultimate attainment. Every soul is striving for it. That's the purpose behind our creation. And that is love of God. The love of God requires complete change in your mental frame. In ordinary love, there are always adjustments are done. Consider your mind like a fabric, like a cloth. In ordinary love, you are making good embroidery, but suddenly love becomes hate. Your needle begins to move in a little ugly way. Fabric doesn't bring out the colors. But people learn to adapt, adjust. And whenever there has been a negative type of relationship, people work hard to remedy it. It's just like repairing the same cloth, same garment, until you end up with a garment all over needles, needlework. That goes on from life to life. Your mind goes on holding different impressions. But when you turn to God, you throw away the entire garment and get a new one. The mind, when it is touched by God's love, it's no longer you are patching up. Mind shakes off all the old impressions. Think of all human loving relations like rays of the sun that create different splendor, different type of phenomena through clouds and through dewdrops, through lakes. The same rays, but there are so many expressions. Love is similar. There are so many expressions. But just as all these expressions of the sun has only one source, the sun, all expressions of love is God, the divine self. And your soul is not a different entity. The soul in every individual is a reflection of God. Therefore, in the ultimate state of experience, God alone is. Your individuality doesn't exist. A river enters the ocean. It has no individuality. That's what Kabira saying, Lali mere lal ki. I went out to look for the beauty of my beloved. And I myself turned into the beloved. Because I saw that beauty everywhere, internally, externally. That's called ekanta bhakti. Mind has nowhere else to go. Mind has realized, discovered that God is the only reality. And God shines within your heart. You don't have to go somewhere, in some sacred place, in some great temple, but right within your own heart. Now, without going further, let me give you a general plan. I have talked about it before. A little reiteration will be helpful. Devotion to God is developed by adopting a particular bhava. Bhava is attitude. There are 5 major bhavas, call it bhavas. First stage is Shant. Shant means there is divine love, but devotee keeps it secretive, doesn't express it. Or you can adopt. This is more popular all over, in all religions. I will do the will of God. I am an instrument. I am a slave. God is the master. That's called Dasya bhava. Then there is the bhava that God is a friend. So open your heart to God. Generally, people have some misconceptions. God is viewed as a mighty being with awesome presence. He can do you good in an awesome way. But also, if there is any defect in you, you can be immediately blasted in his presence. This is not the reality. I'm talking about how the people view God. And therefore they try to hide their feelings from God, as long as God doesn't know it. You pray to God, oh God, I always do good to my friends and to my enemies. Therefore, please give me. I have not asked many things from you. All that is a layman's stage. What I'm leading to understand that you can have God as your friend. You do not go through a mental calculation, should I say these things? Someone who is a very close friend, you simply say it. If it is wrong, figure it out. Both are happy about it. Arjuna and Krishna had that type of relationship, friends. And another bhavana is Vatsalya. Vatsalya means just like mother's tender love towards her child. It has two aspects, but the first aspect is more popular. That's mother loving a child. Other aspect is a child loving the mother. You are a child, God is the mother. You don't like mother so much, and God is the father. Of course, in divine movement, mother, father, just one. All motherly love, all fatherly love is all blended. So the general, popular aspect of Vatsalya Bhava is mother's love for a child. God is viewed as a child. Not literally, it's a figurative language. Just as tremendous sweetness wells up in your heart for a child, and there is no mental expectation that since I am doing all this to the child, what will the child do to me? Rather, a sense of great joy that the child has given you the opportunity to be loved. So life is a wondrous opportunity to love God. And we expect nothing. But to develop a motherly heart. And then, called Madhurya Bhava, lover and beloved. A language that everybody understands, but not to be taken literally. You adopt a bhava according to your own inclination out of these 5 I have described. And you allow that bhava to develop. Having adopted it, you begin to enjoy a special type of delight. That's called rasa. Rasa means nectar. If you go to Madrasi hotel, it means savory soup. Delightful taste. So as taste develops, your mind becomes more and more purified. The bhava that you adopted, the attitude, that begins to blossom. Rati leads you to Prem. Prem is divine love. Kabira said, Pothi pari pari jagmuwa, pandit hua na koe. ढाई अक्षर प्रेम का पढ़े सो पंडित होए. People have studied voluminous works, scriptures included. And simply because you have studied them, that doesn't mean that you have gained love of God, that you have become really a knower, a scholar, a real learned one. But if you were to just gain knowledge or insight into dhai akshar, means 2.5 letters. Prem in Sanskrit is written in dhai, 2.5. So it is lesser than 3, you see. English word is 4, Love. Yes, Prem Sanskrit written is still short. So you have little less difficulty. Whoever learns that is the Pandit. Pandit's term is well known, but Pandit really means one who has attained enlightenment. This Prem further blossoms. It's called pranaya. It's intense love. It further develops into sneh. Sneh is melting love. The mind is on fire and has become like a butter. So it goes on melting. And there develops the mystic rag. Rag means attachment. You are really attached to God. The attachment to world has diminished, or rather moved away. And then follows anuraga, increasing attachment. When the moon comes to climax, full moon, what follows? It begins to wane. But when devotion, love of God comes to climax, be like full moon, it goes on waxing more. As long as your existence is there, psychophysical existence, you go on experiencing, increasing love. So that's the general idea of the attainment. Now, bhava, having adopted a bhava, it is enhanced by two things: Vibhava, anubhava. Vibhava is certain special sadhana that is to be added to it. Just like we use the term vikarma. You do karma, action. Vikarma means while doing action, if you are doing japa, if you are offering it to God, vikarmas. Similarly, your bhavana, the bhava that you adopted, something else, a little spicing is done to it. Vibhava is of 3 types. First, let me say Vibhava and anubhava. Anubhava is expressions. We hold on to the expressions. Expressions such as divine feeling sweeps over you. And there are expressions. You may start shedding tears. Not hot tears, very cold and joyous. Not frozen cold. Tears of profound love. Kanthavarod. Throat begins to choke. Horripilation. I'm coming to that description. But presently, focusing on Vibhava, that which is added to your bhava in order to enhance it. Vibhava has 3 aspects, 3 things. Alamban. Alamban means support for your divine attitude. Your support will be your Ishta Devata. The mantra, for example, if your deity is Krishna, then his mantra is Om Shri Krishnaya Namah. His story, all this will allow your mind to awaken the divine feeling of love. These are called Alamban. These are the support. Next point called udipan. Udipan is the igniter. Satsang, for example, coming to satsang, you have suddenly forgotten about the glory of divine love, and through satsanga, that's awakened within your mind. Swadhyaya, you turn to scriptures, Ramayana, Bhagavad Puran, the Bible, and holy places. In the absence of holy places, ashrams, temples. And third point is called sancari bhava. Your mind will go on working. It will go on entertaining various sentiments. But all this will not be obstructive to your spiritual advancement, rather helpful. And what are they? Dhriti, firmness. You have started doing your sadhana, and at a certain stage, some particular type of prayer or whatever you have adopted has pleased you and you stick. And that's good. But it must move away when you have a higher level. Similarly, mati. Mati means understanding. Your understanding deepens. Understanding of Krishna, Rama, Jesus, Buddha. The insight begins to grow. And it is not final, it goes on growing. Therefore, it's called sancari bhava. Something that drifts and goes on drifting. Another, harsh. Great joy comes in. You are thrilled. Another, vitark. Mind begins to rationalize. Mind begins to debate. Am I really advancing? Is God really listening to me? Or, in spite of his big ears, something has obstructed his listening. But your mind turns to so many sages, saints, and you realize by your own experience. So, going to and fro with the mind ultimately allows you to focus on what is right. All these are allowed. See, when you become devoted, that doesn't mean you are just with a mathematical precision, your mind has become glued to God. And another point, prema ankura. As you start moving in a positive way, what are the unmistakable indications? Just like you have sown a seed, the unmistakable indication, it sprouts, and you see the sprout changing into different stages. First premankura is shanti, forbearance. It has many implications. Your nature will have more kshama. You are not quickly, you do not hold on to people's mistakes, but you are ready to have forgiveness. And when you forgive, you don't go on writing on your diary how many times you have forgiven. You don't even know they have forgiven. Because any feeling, negative feeling that you entertain in your mind becomes an obstacle to divine love. When love enters, your entire mind is filled, and there will be no space, not even a corner for hate or for anything negative. Next point, avyartha kalatva, which means not wasting time. No matter wherever you are, in whatever situation, your mind is constantly enjoying bhakti, devotion. You must realize this is a very advanced state. Your mind has already become like a bee. It has tasted honey, the honey of divine love. Even a bee cannot be deterred from its going after the taste. And your mind is much better than the bees. So when mind has tasted, you don't have to go on reminding, now is the time to turn to prayer. Mind just goes on. The degree of intensity will be variable. Suppose you are very sleepy. Suppose you are tired. But no matter wherever you are, there is always that awareness. God within me. God within me is as easy as me within me. You can't forget yourself. And now you are realizing the real me. So you may start forgetting the little me, but the real me goes on shining brighter. Keeping that in view, which is an ideal, that's a height, but keep that in view and go on reminding yourself of prayer, of japa, study of scriptures, how to keep your mind elevated. And do not develop procrastination, that today I am not in the mood. The scriptures use the term sadotthita, ever awakened. If you are dealing with something very responsible type of job, flying a plane, similar, you are not allowed to go into sleep. You have to be constantly alert. There is no excuse. But here, the term excuse gives you a sense of compulsion. But here it's a totally different thing. It is a tremendous joy. A little forgetfulness of that gives the mind of a devotee a little pinch. How is it? Such a wonderful time and I wasted it. Went to the restaurant where wonderful laddus are given. Yeah, I didn't get it. I just give an example. I'm not fond of laddus. Virati, another. These are all Prem ankur. When that is developing in a person, you know, the love has started growing. Virati is detachment. Detachment means ability to handle your job thoroughly. A mother will attend to her child thoroughly, but not attached to the external form of the child, mother sees in the child presence of God. Her mind steps up to God's love. God has given her the opportunity. So both go together. The practical love that's needed, and that practical love gains greater quality if that is not there, there develops moha in the mother. The child has not eaten or the child is little sick, mother becomes sicker. She starts cursing herself why she has been such a bad mother. And interprets it as, I'm loving her so much. See, that's not real. The divine love steps up into a different quality. Your love becomes profound. That's the ideal of spiritual culture. If people became devotees of God, if they became yogis, general idea, in order to do that, to run away from the world, go somewhere. But the higher example, higher goal is to create Ramarajya. Let humanity enjoy the progress of dharma, righteousness. Another illustration of Virati, detachment. If you put a rose near a crystal, clear crystal, crystal becomes rosy. How much does it love the rose? Take the rose away, crystal is crystal, untouched. Your mind can handle so many things fully, profoundly, but without being affected. And add to that, mind is always focused on God underlying all things. So what holds the mind on is the presence of God. Give you another illustration, the sky. The sky is untouched by clouds. But when we say untouched by clouds, the sky is not running away from clouds. It doesn't go after the clouds, run away, I'm practicing asanga. Rather, the sky enfolds all the clouds, supports them. No matter what their color, no matter whether they're noisy or they move gently, the sky supports them, most lovingly. But if they have gone away, the sky doesn't rain a single tear. Detached. Can it be possible for human mind? It is. That's enlightened mind. That's the ideal of enlightenment. You develop an awareness that sustains all. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Not a single personality or single soul is denounced by you. All is enfolded in your love. You say, that's a big task. How to enfold all? But remember, if the sun were to enfold all its reflection, there's no problem. The sun is the reality. Deep down, you have that capacity. You are the self. Deep down, you are God Himself. Next point, man shunyata, absence of pride. Simple point to understand. What is there to be proud of? Proud of the body, Wait, how long is it going to be? Proud of your possessions? Proud of your fame? Pride of what? And why should you need pride? The sun doesn't expect every flower. Say, good morning, sun. With all my lips of petals, I praise you. And there is a clerk of the sun who records who is praising the sun and who is not. You have infinite fame as the self, as the innermost self, your essential nature, the I am. The fame of that I am is beyond measure. The idea of going after establishing fame in the world is just called Leela. Krishna, Rama, they all do that, but they are fully aware that whatsoever fame you establish in the world, that's a trifle. Kirti prishtam pratisthita. Your fame is on the mountain top. As long as you understand the mountain here is beyond million Himalayas put together. However, in practical world, humility exudes from the personality of a sage. Next, Premankur is Ashaband. Ashaband means expectation of moving towards God. Because this is a progress. As I said, it's a waxing moon. And that movement is constantly being expected by the mind. And mind goes on enjoying. In the practical world, people have expectations, but along with expectations, they have many fears, doubts. Expecting things should move in a positive way. But will it? It's always a doubt. But for a devotee, there's no doubt. Of all things, God is not running away. If you have targeted your mind to God, there is absolute security. Once path of devotion has become well understood, then Bhagavad Puran says, even if you were to close your eyes and run in a helter-skelter manner, still you will reach the destination. Samutkantha, there's another aspect of Ashaband. Samutkantha means just like suppose you are waiting for someone who is coming by plane. You are at the airport and you see people coming in. Someone looks like the person whom you are waiting for. You brighten up your face. You feel, oh, that's the person coming. So similarly, there is a sense of joy that waits for you. So much joy you have, but a little more is coming to you. Namasmarana ruchi. There is constant taste for repeating the divine name. If you read Mahatma Gandhi's experience, he says that there is something special by pronouncing the name of God. He had chosen the name Rama, Rama, Rama. The question you have already repeated a million times. Why do you have to go on repeating it? Not so. There is constant joy, constant joy. You have eaten pudding a million times. Why do you go on eating it? Gunakhyan ruchi. And there is a special interest in speaking of the glory of God. And that's a profound quality. A devotee exists to bring out the fragrance of devotion, to waft that fragrance. Even if he doesn't talk, his personality exudes it. But wherever he has the opportunity to speak of the glory of God, to guide people to the path of devotion or the path of wisdom, he will not miss that chance. And when it comes to, in that area, he is eloquent. Says Narada uses the term lapamana. Parasparam lapamana. Lap, 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 lap. People chat. When they come into a crowd, and they're very happy, all are doing lots of chatting. If devotion has entered your heart, that's the only thing to chat about. That also shouldn't be understood in a restricted way. You don't start giving philosophical words or quoting Ramayana or this or unless that opportunity is there. But what you say is creating a sense of joy among people. You are, in a subtle way, radiating faith, trust, love, goodness, compassion. Not only in life. Remember, when you look at Buddha, far away from his living presence, even his statue goes on exuding a kind of sweetness, a kind of calmness, and that inspires people. But you don't have to wait to become a statue. Leela bhumi ruchi. And wherever there is any association, that's encouragement for people to go to places that are sacred. And devotees become exceedingly thrilled when they go to Rama's birthplace or Krishna's birthplace. But step up a higher level. The entire world is his Leela Bhumi. And the best Leela Bhumi is your own heart, where Krishna creates Rasa Leela and he is constantly dancing. He is expert dancer. All your sentiments dance with God. And you are nowhere. Only the dance continues. And wherever you are, that becomes the sacred place. And with this we conclude. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of spiritual growth. It's an honor to learn from the wisdom of Swami Jyotirmayananda. As we part for now, remember, the quest does not end. Take time to reflect on today's insights and integrate them into your life. Until next time, stay open, stay curious, stay present. The light within you is always shining.